Welcome back to Hazardous Endeavors. Woo! Yes, indeed. The 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons actual play podcast brought to you by Digital and Dice. I am your host, Mark, and joining me today are the players. We have Zanne as Victus.
I like my wig.
We have the Lady Crass as Lindo Espina, the beautiful Thorn.
I like your wig.
We,
Why,
of course, have
thank you.
voiceover guy Brian as Wilf Tradewind.
I like your wig, and I like my hat.
I do too.
And
Why,
sound guy Steven as Jackson Shaw.
How are they going to get us into trouble today?
I'm glad you asked.
He went off theme. He is fired.
So where we last left our intrepid adventurers, you had gussied yourself up a bit. You had made your way into town to purchase some clothing as well as some accoutrement like wigs and other facial hair. And eventually had made your way to the I believe it was a whitewood coach with gilt edges, to which it then brought you to the house of your hosts, the Watchfields, as they are the eminent noble family of this particular city. They are not the rulers of Davenport, but they are certainly fairly high up in the nobility, as far as that goes in this country.
I think the word you're looking for is mucky muck.
Yes.
The bourgeoisie.
Yeah,
Hoity-toity.
they are quite bougie.
The bourgeoisie. Got it.
And so as you guys have arrived at the party, you see ahead of you an open foyer with quite a lot of room. There are 2 large staircases going up to a second level. You see hallways making their way off from there. There are numerous other rooms you can see with doors wide open leading off into a reading room to the side. You see a dining room further ahead. And all of the people who are there and attending are in their finery. Long dresses with brocade and lace. You see the men in their suits, short top coats, long kind of pinstriped pants, shiny shoes. Top hats are in evident display.
Is anybody else in costume?
There are a few people, yes. Mostly face masks seems to be the way. A lot of them are wearing their finery, but they've disguised themselves in other ways. So they're wearing elaborate face masks of different feathers, leather. Some people seem to have sprang for a little extra, and you have some magical creations that seem to be fogging their bearer behind an ever-moving, colorful mist. And such like that.
Ooh. It's only a cantrip.
Oh.
No one will know who I am.
No one knows who you are already.
Then it is extra effective.
Yes. we've got our fancy Dawn Guard masks.
Yes, indeed. I believe you guys had them, you found them at the particular store who just happened to have all of the things you needed.
It was a very useful store. Almost magically useful.
Indeed. Right. So arriving at the party, you make your way in, and you are announced at the front door by a half-elven man dressed in the finery of the house, although he's wearing a very simple mask. And you can see several other of the servers and such who are walking around with trays of food are wearing very similar attire with very simplistic masks, so as not to outshine those who sign their paychecks. And the half-elven man announces you as the new Dawn Guard is in attendance, to which there is a round of people who stop what they're doing in mid-conversation looking over at the group of you, and there immediately is this hushed conversation throughout quite a lot of the gathered nobility.
Okay, Victus, remember how we practice. Princess wave. Ready? And wrist to wrist, elbow, elbow. Did I do this wrong? Oh, shit.
Elbow, elbow, wrist, wrist.
Oh, yeah, no, you got it right. Yes, elbow,
wrist,
elbow,
wrist.
wrist, wrist. Yes.
Nod and smile. Blow a kiss.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh.
Very well.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh.
Wipe a tear.
Yes. And after that initial reaction, several people start kind of making their way over to you, but they're waiting for you to leave the entry hall and make your way into the meeting proper. So as you guys shuttle yourselves in, you are almost beset immediately upon by several very enthusiastic nobles. Some of the younger crowd seems to be very curious about you, and in particular an elven couple. You see two very slender, somewhat androgynous individuals wearing, each one of them has a half mask on the opposite sides of the face, so that they are able to, as they move together, they look almost like mirror images that are kind of floating about. And as they come over, they are arm in arm linked, and they immediately make their way to Victus.
Hello.
And almost simultaneously, it's, hello. I am Avak, this is Kavak, and we are here, of course, to welcome you to the party. Yes.
Thank you. I am glad to be here. You do not know who I am.
No, we do not. We would absolutely love to hear your story.
Oh.
Is the point to know who I am when I come in disguise?
Well, you are here as the new Dawn Guard, are you not?
Yes, we are the Dawn Guard.
Well, perhaps you may regale us with tales of how the Dawn Guard has prevailed over the forces of darkness.
Well,
What?
we did prevail over the forces of darkness.
Sure did.
Bane was defeated many years ago
many
in the War
many
of
years ago.
Ascension. I am led to believe I was not there.
I see. The one on the left kind of leans over and
Help me out
whispers
here.
very silently into the other one's ear, who turns and smiles and nods and says, perhaps maybe you would like to come and sit down amongst a group of... there's several
Let us
people.
tell you the tale of how we beat the dread necromancer of the fell wastes.
There's some clapping, and as someone motioned from behind you, the half-elf puts a hand on your shoulder and motions over to the side where you see a small stage is set up, where there's a couple people already playing large stringed instruments.
Well, I will head on over that way, gathering the people.
Okay.
I would like to slip out of the crowd.
Okay.
A cunning action, if you will.
Okay. So, as the crowd is now very interested to hear what Wilf has to sing, and are now gathering around, some of the conversations being quieted down to hear the hero tell his tale. Lindo, you blend a little in with the environment. Go ahead and roll me a stealth check just to see how well.
I forgot where I left stealth on my character sheet.
It'd be under Dex.
13.
Okay. So, luckily, not a lot of people seem to be paying much attention to you, but you slip away and start to kind of peruse the outside of the crowd.
Ooh, hors d'oeuvres.
There's
More of
alcohol
a
over
rouge
there.
than a rogue.
Yeah, Jackson immediately
Blushing rouge.
makes his way off to the side and finds a table where he is able to procure himself a drink. Victus, you are mobbed up with the crowd to be over to where Wilf is.
I am listening. I was not present for this particular adventure.
I tell the story of how the brave and canny Jackson Shaw led his cohort and friends off into the most dire of terrible places, the blighted lands where undead run like rivers, and great skeleton oracles tell truths that cannot be unheard.
Okay, yeah, so you're going to be doing that. Go ahead and roll me a perform check, see how well you're going to impress the noblige.
Okay.
There are sparkles.
How's the 29?
29 is more than great to basically start wowing the crowd with.
A little bit of accompaniment to go alongside it, is little bits of illusion and everything.
The band behind you every so often kicks a little bit in with some background noise that heightens it just slightly, but you have the rapt attention of the crowd at this point. Excuse me, Lindo, where are
Excuse
you?
me.
Where are you headed?
Lindo is a little bit sweaty and a little bit nervous and keeps checking his coat, making sure he has all his thieves' tools, and is glancing around to see where it is. Where was that room again? It's somewhere up and to the left and left.
Yeah. So, Lindo, you start making your way up the stairs. No one seems to be paying a whole lot of attention to you as the grand performance is being done. To the oohs, ahs, and every so often a good clap from the people around. You make your way up, and off to the left, you start checking the doors. The first one you come to, you open it up, and it looks more like a storage closet, so you close that one.
Nope.
You make your way along the balcony area. You're still able to look down and see the what's happening below, but again, no one seems to be paying you any mind. But you open the door and you look in, and you're looking at a somewhat dimly lit smoking room. A lot of leather chairs, large overstuffed couches, a roaring fire in the fireplace, large painting over the fireplace, as well as, many, many books and odds and ends and baubles on display.
I slip in and perhaps lock the door behind me.
Okay. You slip in there and you flip the lock on the door and start looking around. Jackson, you are over by the drinks table.
Yeah.
You have since acquired yourself a glass of what looks to be some sort of champagne. And, taking a cautionary sip at the moment as someone comes up beside you and gives a slight bow. You turn and you see an elderly human, kind of a little bit of a chiseled jaw, standing very much like they have had some sort of military service at some point, just holding themselves very well, although definitely age has taken its toll. And he looks at you and he says, you must be one of the Dawn Guard, yes?
Yes, sir, I am.
Oh, it is delightful to have you here. My name is Cole Watchfield. Pleasure.
Jackson Shaw.
Welcome to my estate.
Thank you for having us.
Indeed. Perhaps I might ask a question of you. It may seem a little forward, but I don't get this sort of opportunity very often. You see, my daughter. You have not met her yet. She is getting ready still. My young Emma, she was born with a sickness, something wrong with her body. As she aged, she started to become sicker and more poorly in health, and it was really all that we could do, and many of the priesthood, to find any way of extending her life so that she may live it to the fullest. But the only thing we have found is an artifact that has been handed down in our family for a while, a necklace that she wears. I was perhaps hoping that one of the Dawn Guard might be able to use some of their expertise. A follower of Pelor, as you are, might have some luck where some of the other priests and doctors may have not. If you would be willing to maybe take a look, I would greatly appreciate it.
I don't see what harm it could do.
Indeed. We will, of course, have to meet after the party, but if at all possible, if you would stay afterwards, we would discuss.
Of course.
Thank you. Please, enjoy the party. If there's anything you need, don't hesitate to let us know.
Not a problem.
He nods and gives another slight bow and makes his way over so he can listen to the story as it's being told.
By the way, the hero of this story is absolutely, without a doubt, our good man here, Jackson. With some stunning daring do's of Lindo Espina, the beautiful Thorn. Elliot Frostmoon. I was there.
Okay.
I saw the sights.
All right.
All he was there for.
So you guys are listening to the story, you're telling the story. Lindo, you are looking around the room. You are, as you're kind of poking around the corners, just making sure that you're alone and there's no real other way out of this room. You look over above the mantelpiece and you see a magnificent painting. as if someone took a still of a moment in time and pressed it into the paper. You are seeing a dragon aloft amidst storm clouds, a crash of lightning lighting up the clouds behind it.
Isn't this boy with apple?
This is, I believe, Brass Dragon in flight.
Right.
Oh, no. That's obviously a forgery. Totally a bronze dragon in flight.
Oh, that one.
Eh?
The painting that you were ostensibly here for.
Ah. Well,
St. John and
okay.
the Dragon.
Some color of dragon doing a flap flap.
Yes. It doing a flap flap. What a good boy.
Okie dokie. I imagine it is above the mantle.
It is.
Okay, so obviously I'm going to look around the room for a... I look at the table, I see that there are many chairs.
There's a nice tall-backed leather chair by the fireplace.
I ignore all of them, and I take a bunch of small side tables and I stack them on top of each other.
Okay. So you're stacking side tables, and
It seems right.
as you're just about to start climbing up it, you get them high enough that you're pretty sure you can reach the painting at this point, when from the door you hear a click.
Eh.
And it opens slowly, and then someone shifts into the room and closes it behind them.
I pose dramatically at the picture like I'm eyeing it.
As you're standing there, 1 foot up on the first of the side tables. And you look over just kind of out of the corner of your eye, because you're trying to stand there looking, reverent. You see a flowing blue gown, and you see the kind of raven curly hair falling down over the shoulders, and hanging down over the lace décolletage, you see a shining golden amulet. And the face of a woman you have not seen for quite a while.
If I hold perfectly still, she will not notice me. I hold perfectly still in hopes that she shall not notice me.
Become invisible to the naked eye.
Her vision's based on movement.
She looks over, and she gets a very curious look for just a moment. Oh, excuse me. I didn't mean to... Wait. Hold on.
Oh no, you have seen me! I am sorry, I was,
She
very
blinks.
interested in this beautiful art piece you have up here and wanted to see the texture of the paint up close.
She seems to be holding the mask that she should theoretically be wearing in
Very
one hand
dextery.
off to the side. And she's looking at you. I know you, don't I?
Oh, probably not. That would be silly.
I've only known one man to stand so heroically and triumphantly in a moment such as this, and is that you, Edmund?
I don't know an Edmund, so no.
Just gonna break character.
Oh,
Hey, my name, yo.
oh, sorry. Did I forget?
Edwin.
Edwin. That one.
Edmund's now my name.
No,
It's
Edwin.
my nom de plume.
Just adjust my note here because apparently I know how to DM.
Like,
Is
I
that
don't know.
you, Edwin? Yep, there we go.
Hi. I'm posing dramatically and you're telling me how cool I am.
Yes.
Yes, okay, it's me. And I step down and I pull off my mask and I pull off my wig and I smile and I give her finger guns.
She immediately a tear starts to pour down the side of her face, and she runs over to you
Oh,
and embraces
yay.
you in a
Yep.
strong hug. Says, I thought you were dead.
Yeah, I thought I was dead too. Yeah, that's definitely something that happened.
You left that night, and I thought the worst, and I didn't hear from you. Not a letter, not a message of any kind.
Is the worst when somebody shoves you in a box and shoves you down river? Because then you were correct. It was the worst.
Is that what happened?
Maybe.
What horrible person would have done that to you?
No. One.
Oh.
In particular. Anyway, so how have you been? Yeah, you're still wearing the amulet. That's cool.
Well, yes, I must. What happened? Where have you been?
Crazy story. So I right box, remember the box? Yeah, river. Ended up on the shore, and that was pretty cool. And then all of a sudden, got brought into the Dawn Guard, and that was neat, right?
Dawn Guard?
Yeah. Look at me, I'm very famous now.
I've heard whispers and rumors.
Maybe your dad will like me. That's new, right?
I mean, possible, I suppose.
Yeah, it's probably not possible, but let's try.
Stranger things have maybe happened.
Oh, no, they haven't.
Find any cure for your bits yet?
She looks somewhat crestfallen. No. I've been forbidden to leave the grounds for fear that I might lose it or that it might be stolen.
So you still rely on your entire life because of the amulet.
She nods.
That's great. It's good that you're alive and breathing.
Well,
Yay!
what brings you here?
I'm gonna steal that picture.
She, looks somewhat concerned and confused and looks up. The dragon in flight?
Yeah, afternoon delight. Yes. I'm gonna steal that picture on the wall, so that people that I may or may not have gotten in trouble with will stop trying to kill me and my friends.
If it's a debt you must repay, I will of course help you.
Oh, so I can have the painting.
Of course.
Oh,
if
right.
it means saving you. Anything.
Yes. I give her a very awkward cheek touch.
Okay. Meanwhile, Wilf, your story is coming to an end. There is a round of applause. People are cheering. There are numerous people who are just absolutely just overwhelmed. There are fans moving and some people almost swooning at some of the more interesting and adventurous parts, especially when you were describing some of the undead. It's a clang, 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 clang from Victus clapping.
I major image a spotlight onto Jackson.
Okay. Who's standing over looking to see if he can replace his champagne with something a little heartier.
Yeah.
And so suddenly there is a spotlight on Jackson as you wave, and at least half of the group starts to make their way over to you, where they start asking questions about, oh, was he right about this? What happened to this? Oh, was this as scary as it sounded? How did you defeat this one? And basically just fawning over you. And do you say anything?
Yes. Character, yes. Player, player.
We're having a Corbin Dallas moment.
Pretty much.
Hey.
All right.
Standing! Woo!
Okay. So
Yeah. I'm
So
a terrible
you
person.
basically Jackson starts to give him a bit of a, oh, yes, this.
Correct the obvious
Misconceptions and mistakes and outright exaggerations and lies.
Yeah? Just
yeah,
about?
that's all that's being corrected.
I mean,
Maybe.
you know,
Okay. All right. That
it's
works.
Jackson.
Several of the older gentlemen, of course, invite you into one of the side rooms where they're going to have some of the top shelf additives, as well as perhaps some, if you wish to have some piped weed or perhaps a cigar, we will enjoy ourselves off into the side room.
No.
One on the lower level.
Oh, thank God.
But of course, they lead you off that direction as the band starts to play. And the music starts to kick up and people start dancing.
Some people I can actually talk shop with.
Yes. Some older military folk who understand what's going on and that they're going to get the hero of the hour out of the spotlight for a moment.
They understand what poetic licensing has been taken to the story and such. That's what I was going for.
Wilf, where should I station myself?
All right, so do you see those two who look almost identical to each other right there?
Yes, they introduced themselves when we arrived.
Yes, that Ovek and Covert folk. They seem to be awfully question asking, and we don't necessarily want them to know all the answers.
Which answers do we not want them to know?
You know, our main plans, where possible ancient relics can be found, that sort of stuff.
Do we know where ancient relics can be found?
We've got a rough idea.
At least 4 of them.
Roughabouts. But essentially, I don't trust them because they're weird and weird me out.
Do you believe they are agents of Bane?
No, but I can absolutely believe that they might be self-serving. I mean, they're nobility.
But would they not want to serve the cause of good?
How about you stick with me, and we're gonna go around and anytime someone asks something where you're not quite sure on the answer, feel free to just ask me on it, and I can help you out with that.
All right. I will
Yeah.
stick with you, Wilf.
Yeah.
So the dancing has now started, and as people are pairing up, a younger woman in a red and black satiny dress comes over and offers a hand out to Victus, and requests a dance.
Victus, do you know how to dance?
I do not.
It would be a very interesting thing to learn.
All right. Should I accompany her?
Absolutely.
All
I
right.
think.
She,
Yes.
a little bit of a giggle and a laugh, and nervously extends her hand, and
Hello. Victus takes her hand and is led off to the dance floor.
okay. Go ahead and make me a charisma roll,
Dancing
just to see how well you're able to
Mean and mean, she's a
keep up.
dancing machine.
I'm just immediately going into David Bowie in my brain.
13.
Oh.
13?
Let's
Okay.
dance.
You
No,
are
more like
able to
Labyrinth
keep
David
up with the
Bowie.
dance. As you are swayed back and forth, she helps you lead the dance, kind of adjusting your footing a little bit here and there, but kind of giggling as she does so.
It is convenient that I do not have feet on the floor.
Oh, that would be the thing, wouldn't it? Yeah. So you basically do the whole thing floating. So she is literally just moving you back and forth, and it looks like you're leading.
Yes.
Oh.
Okay. Well
That
done.
helpful.
Handy.
Is really cool.
Whereas Wilf, as you're standing off to the side, you see
Pleased with the chaos that I've created.
an older gentleman comes up and stands next to you, gives you a bit of a nod, and he says, there were 4 of you when you came in, were there not?"
Oh, yes, well, Lindo Espina is renowned as a wooer of women and men, and, well, really anyone who feels like being wooed.
I understand.
So, out being the social butterfly that he is.
Very well. Thank you, and please enjoy the party, Master Wilf.
Thank you.
He turns and seems to look a little bit concerned, but starts to walk off towards one of the side rooms.
It threw me under the bus.
I said you were out, entertaining someone. I didn't think that you would actually be out entertaining someone.
Bus thrown. I live here now.
I made you such a good distraction, and then you ran into the girl.
So at this point,
always a
Victus is on the dance floor dancing. Jackson, you are
I
sitting
am.
in a nicely appointed side room, sharing some nice kind of amber-colored liquid with some older gentlemen, and surrounded by kind of a thick plume of pipe smoke.
Yep.
And Wilf, you are standing on the side of the dance floor, just watching Victus be swished around.
This is quite a pleasant thing.
And Lindo, you're standing there with Emma, and you start kind of. She recommends putting something a little bit sturdier up to maybe hold to hold your weight, and she kind of slowly pushes one of the big heavy leather chairs up so that you can stand on the back of it.
No, that makes sense. Yeah, that's something about integrity or something. Yeah, sure. Whatever. I don't live here. I don't know what the strongest furniture is.
And she kind of
engineer.
She kind of helps you up a little bit. She definitely seems like she's not had quite a lot of, shall we say, exercises. She's almost winded just pushing the chair.
It's like she's chronically ill or something.
Yeah.
Why are you making the chronically ill person do all the work?
You know, she volunteered, and you're not even here. I'm just talking into the wind.
Is that unusual?
Yeah, I'm nervous.
And as you kind of climb up on the chair, like leaning against the wall, you go up there and you grab the side of the painting and you start kind of lifting and pulling it off. You get it down to the ground between the two of you and are just pulling out a knife to start kind of cutting away the inside.
I should have brought a tube. I knew I should have brought a tube or like a little leather pouch, but I didn't.
And from the other corner of the room, over by the window, you hear...
I slow head turn.
You look over, and from the shadows of the corner, a small figure jumps down off of one of the tall-backed seats that is over there next to some of the bookshelves, puts down a glass of liquid, and smiles at you, and you're looking at a familiar halfling, as Lyle Enderwise takes a step forward, gives you a smile.
Lyle, you scared me. That was I mean, you scared me.
This was such a touching reunion. It really was.
Thank you.
I have to say, honestly, that really got to me.
Was it the chair?
It was her willingness to assist you in robbing her own house, merely to
It's a gift
clear
now.
your name.
It's still a gift now.
But,
It's a gift. It's a proposed gift.
Oh, Lindo. This is stealing. You understand? Stealing. You must understand stealing. As he takes a step forward, and you see this kind of coiling mist appear at his feet. And as he takes another step forward, he rises in the air slightly, the mist enveloping his legs. Almost like from around him, coming out of his clothing and enveloping him, you see this dark mist start to grow around him. And the voice of him still echoing, almost a little bit tinny, as he starts to grow and form, as these dark plates start to form outside of the mist. He says,
You Emma behind a chair.
have something of mine. And that, dear Digidicers, is where we're going to end for this episode.
What?
That's
Oh my.
That's BS. That's BS.
What?
That's BS.
What?
So,
What?
thank you for joining us, dear Digidicers, for another episode of Hazardous Endeavors.
Betrayal!
And until next time,
Yeet.
game on, internets!